Zani say, she went to Zana say, Kita Bebe, Kita Bebe. Itabepe. What's up, people? Welcome back, welcome back, everybody. How you feeling? How you guys are doing? We are about to break it down today. We are talking about all the transfer updates that we have gotten over the weekend, and then we are also going to then focus and talk about some things that happened when it comes to Premier League football. So, without further ado, welcome back into the building. I'm your host, Manny, and today we are going to enjoy this one. We are going to enjoy this one as we go on. And of course, for the people that are on the physical phone and in the vertical kind of content, welcome. And for the people that are in the horizontal kind of content, and we know where that is, also welcome. Let's begin. First things first, we have to start with the people that is on the thumbnail. And we'll start with Carlos Baleba first. Chris Wheeler has basically reported, and let me absolutely just put it up here so everybody can see it. And this is good. It's good news so far. So Chris Wheeler has commented and he said here, and it's pretty clear. He says, Man United said to confirm the £7 million deal for Carlos Baleba on Monday after Brighton midfielder passed a medical and are monitoring the left back Alejandro Balde. That is the key part about this situation. Manchester United are monitoring Alejandro Balde. Now, we'll definitely focus on this particular one because a lot of people already know this situation. We already know that what they call him, that Baleba is going to be a Man United player, barring something crazy like him coming up with an injury or coming up with a bad heart or something like that. However, what we are seeing, and this is an addition to this particular story, the addition is Alejandro Balde. You understand? That's the addition. The addition is Alejandro Balde. And with that particular one, we are also going to then focus on what Hansi Flick said today after he was asked about Alejandro Balde and him not being in the squad. And what he said was that Hansi Flick basically reported, he says, or not reported, just answered the question. He said, I have not told Alejandro Balde to leave. I spoke with him this morning and I told him to think about it and that we will speak or we will talk again tomorrow. Now, let me tell you something. If you're, this is the thing that blows my mind. If your manager tells you to think about leaving the job, you all of a sudden understand that you're not wanted. You all of a sudden understand that you should be leaving. You all of a sudden understand that you should be looking for a new job. Can we all agree? Is it a yes or a yes? Can we all agree with that one? That we know for crystal clear. And the beautiful part about Alejandro Balde is that we know that he has some ability. His biggest problem for Balde is his injury record. You understand? He gets injured more than what's his name? Probably Luke Shaw. That's the problem. But his ability wise, he is, if we're looking at what he can do, he's 22 years of age, has ability oozing off his ears. You understand? He has the ability. But the biggest problem about Alejandro Balde is his ability or lack of staying on the pitch. Can't stay on the pitch to save his life. Can't stay on the pitch to save his life. But let's break it down. Let's look a little bit back at what he did last season. Let's look back at what he did last season because that is the focus. And if he's coming to Manchester United, which it was reported that Man United had gone and asked to see what Alejandro Balde would want to do when it comes to whether he would be open to joining Manchester United. And if we are not mistaken, Alejandro Balde had already spoken about him joining Manchester United for a long time. He basically said, if I'm not mistaken, it's either Barcelona or Manchester United. Let me see if I can find that. Balde talking about Man United. He had made a focus or a conversation about either Barcelona or Manchester United. You understand? And that was what we had spoken about. And the beautiful part about this situation is that him coming to Manchester United or being open to even coming to Manchester United is a good it's a good idea. It's a good idea. But the key part of what we do here at Pillar Sports is not just about vibes for us. We want to get the nitty gritty about the whole situation. We've spoken about David Rom. We've spoken about David Rom. We've spoken about Yoselinas from Racing Santander, and we came out, and also Lewis Hall, and we came out with the whole idea about focusing on the successful crosses and also the creativity from that left back position. And based on what we saw, Lewis Hall is not the right man for Manchester United right now, based on what we saw in the past. Also, Solinas is not the right person. He might be the right person in the future, but right now for Manchester United, he is not the right person. And David Rom was the closest person to what we wanted in those two things. So without further ado, let's look also at the successful crosses of um, Balde, Alejandro Balde. Now, this is what we are seeing for Alejandro Balde. Successful crosses percentage was 21.4%. It is more than Lewis Hall and also more than Jose Salinas. That is the best part about this situation is that Balde crosses the ball better than those two, even though he runs full pelters. He runs full pelters without stop. But this is the thing that also separates him from those players is his ability to create chances. He has chances created 23, right? Chances created 20, 23, big chances created 4, and successful crosses 6. And so, based on what we are seeing so far, Alejandro Balde is definitely a better option than Yamal. Sorry, oh, Jesus Christ, or than Yamal, than Lewis Hall to Manchester United as the left back. Esty says, Master Antuano, is he greater than Yamal or less than Yamal? I don't understand, but trust me when I say this, Master Antuano is not touching Yamal right now at all. He's not touching Yamal right now. But back to what we're talking about. Balde coming to Manchester United or even being open to coming to Manchester United is a good sign. But his injury record is truly a bad situation. See, are these stats from last season or overall? It's from last season. It's from last season. Maybe you want me to check the season before because last season, how many games did he play last season? He played 28 matches, started 21, had 2 assists. You understand? Had 2 assists. Chris Hernandez says, "Yo, what? Well, welcome back, Chris. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So that is what I'm saying in this situation. You get me? That right there is what I'm saying. Balde, so far, his idea of wanting to come to or either Barcelona or Manchester United is a good one for Manchester United fans. I believe that this is the best thing that we can see going forward. But in my mind, I don't think his injury record is a concern for me. It is a concern for me, and I need people to understand that. That is a concern for me. Despite reports of Lewis Hall negotiating a new contract at Newcastle, this is from Rose Howard. In fact, let's give him credit. Um, Let's not just read it out. Let's give him the credit that he deserves. Despite reports of Lewis Hall negotiating a new contract at Newcastle, understand that Man United are continuing talks with Lewis Hall's representatives in an attempt to agree personal terms. Club are confident if they can agree personal terms, it will assist with agreeing a deal with Newcastle. Left back is the next priority following the signing of Carlos Baleba. So Manchester United are still pushing for Lewis Hall based on Rose Howard. That's what they're still pushing for. You understand? They're still pushing for that. And Mr. says, do you think if he comes to United, he will solve our left back problems? He will be better than what we have. That is for sure. He will be better than what we have. But I feel like based on what I'm looking at, right, I'm wanting Manchester United to be able to maximize on who we have as a number 9. On who we have as a number 9. Mobile Gamer says Cody Gakpo to Tottenham Hotspur. He might be going to Tottenham Hotspur. I'm not sure that yet. I'm not sure about that yet because what we are seeing so far is Savinho has gone to Tottenham Hotspur. We have seen the here we go from for Omar Mamouche to go to Tottenham Hotspur on loan, and that's what we are also going to talk about in this live video. But for right now, let's focus on what we are seeing from Alejandro Balde. You understand? That's the focus because Alejandro Balde is a talented footballer. He's a talented footballer. His biggest problem, though, his ability to stay on the pitch. It's his ability to stay on the pitch. That is his biggest problem. He says here, Fabrizio Romano says, Alejandro Balde to Manchester United depends on the fee. You get me? He said it depends on the fee, but that's where the problem lies. That right there is where the problem is lying. Because the question still lands. Okay, if he comes to Manchester United and then we have a problem with Luke Shaw being a injury-prone player, and then the person that we bring to replace Luke Shaw also being an injury-prone player, come on now, that doesn't make sense for us. It does not make sense for us. I don't think that's the smartest way to operate. If I'm lying, let me know. If I'm not saying the truth in this situation, let me know, guys. Let me know. Because that's a difficult thing to wrap my head around. It's a difficult one to wrap my head around. You understand? Very difficult. Um, my guy says, I think it's Brian, if I'm not mistaken, says, let's get two left backs and a right back. It would be nice. It would be nice to get two left back, but they are struggling to even get one left back. It would be nice. Mr. says, right back isn't really a need currently. We have Dalot, Euro, and Mazarawi. I agree with that. But the biggest problem about that situation is that none of them in that right back position gives us a creative spark from that right back position. So it's then left on whoever we have on the right winger position for us to then create something magical. That is my biggest problem in that sense. That right there is my biggest problem. All right, let's go to the next one. The next transfer window, as we have spoken about Alejandro Balde already. Now we have to talk about um, Christopher Nkunku. Christopher Nkunku, Christopher Nkunku apparently is on his way to RB Leipzig. It says from Fabrizio Romano, says RB Leipzig have reached a verbal agreement to sign Christopher Nkunku from AC Milan. Here we go. Documents being exchanged now after deal in place at 3.5 million euros loan fee plus a buy option clause, slightly under 30 million euros. Nkunku wanted Leipzig deal, now agreed in principle. So that's pretty good for Nkunku. Finally goes back home where he was loved, where he absolutely devastated the world and showed the talent that he had. And now that is where we are. So a football gamer says, is there any updates on about Barcola to Liverpool in the transfer market? No update so far. PSG just wants a lot of money, and Liverpool do not want to get to that amount. PSG are literally quoting around 150 to 170 million pounds. And Liverpool are like, yeah, we can pay 100 million, but 150, that's basically what we are reading right so far. Um, what right back should we get? That's a tough one. I don't really think there's a right back right now that's in my head that I think we should have gotten because personally I wanted Denzel Dumfries. I believe that Denzel Dumfries would have been a really good right back. Of course, Hakimi is not leaving Paris Saint-Germain. Um, but Denzel Dumfries was definitely my number one to get as a right back replacement or someone that would just give us a little bit of oomph in that right back position, personally. But I'll have to kind of do a research to me to see a right back that I would love enough to come to Manchester United. I don't have that right now on the top of my head. He says we need a techie right winger too, if we are being honest. Ahmad isn't that he isn't creative enough. I think Ahmad is everything that we want in a right winger. The problem is He's not seen as one. He's not seen as one. He's not given the license to be one. He's not given the license to be the number one right winger or the person multiple seasons. Because what we saw with Ahmad is that he might not create and give you goals upon goals, but what he does is make every single person around him better. That one thing that we cannot take away from Ahmad. Ahmad Diallo. We just can't take away that from Ahmad. Let's go to Unai Emery talking on Watkins. Now, this is absolutely something that breaks my heart to see. It breaks my heart so much to see that Unai Emery has gotten to a point with Ollie Watkins that he refused to play against Brighton Hove Albion. He refused to play against Brighton of Albion, but that's what we are alleging so far. It basically says here Unai Emery on Watkins refusing to play. And this was a difficult one for me to read in general because it says Unai Emery on Watkins refusing to play. He says, I cannot answer this question. Oli can. Watkins wants Al Hilal move. The agreement on personal term was done days ago, and talks between clubs continue. Now, based on the things that I can see in this particular situation, is that when you look at the player wants he wants he wants out. You understand? He wants out of Aston Villa because the amount of money that is going to be coming to Ollie Watkins' bank account is absolutely insane. That is insane. JJ Hunter in the building. What's up, JJ? JJ says Ahmad is better than Savinho, 100%. 100 flipping percent. 100 flipping percent. He has done it in the league. Savinho has not done jack-ish. And the amount, we are going to talk about Savinho. So let's put that to the side for right now. Thank you, JJ, for the heart. I appreciate you. One thing I would say about Ollie Watkins, you can't. It is hard for you to refuse the amount of money that Saudi Pro League is going to bring for you. It is hard. It is super hard. You don't refuse that amount of money. You really don't refuse that amount of money in my mind. So just let him go. He is 29 years of age, probably 30 if I'm not mistaken. How old is Ollie Watkins? Um, is how old is he? He's 30 years of age. This is coming to the twilight of his career. This is going to be generation money for him. Generation money for him. So just let him go. Aston Villa already have a huge problem on their hands. They already have a huge problem on their hands because the entirety of their squad has been decimated. We thought Newcastle were decimated. Aston Villa is worse. Aston Villa right now is worse because talk about your best player in UTD Lemons leaving. Oli Watkins is about to leave. Ponsa has just left to Arsenal. Um, who else has left Aston Villa? Morgan Rogers has left Aston Villa. Lucas Digne has left Aston Villa. That basically means the only experienced player in that team right now is John McGinn. It is insane to think about. Also says JJ Honcho, it should be 200 million. At this point, if you want to get Ahmad from Manchester United, pay 200 million. That's it. Soccer Gamer says Ollie Watkins leaving this Saudi, leaving to Saudi. Don't play when the transfer market. Well, I don't really understand what you said there, but I believe that you're trying to say that Saudi doesn't really play when it comes to getting players and the amount of money that they would cough out in that situation. And I 100% agree that. Baleba is here to save us. Let's not put that on Baleba, please, Ozzy. He is still 22 years of age. We have the team that is good enough to beat Hull City. We had the team good enough to beat Hull City. We just did not execute. We did not execute, and that was the biggest problem for us in that particular one. Biggest problem for us. You understand? That was the biggest problem. So let's not get it twisted in that particular sense. Let's not get it twisted in that particular sense. Let's understand that. Um, my guy Brian says, I will sell Ahmad for 50 mil. Man, you must be out of your mind. Ahmad for 50 mil when Savinho is going for 100 or close to. Come on now, let's get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. See, I will sell Rashford for 170 mil, bro. They don't even want Rashford for 26. How would we sell Rashford for 70 mil? Let's let's get it right, okay? Let's get it right, please. How did you feel about Brighton beating Aston Villa 2-0? No, Brighton did not beat Aston Villa 2-0, my guy. Brighton beat Aston Villa 4, 4, 4 flipping nil. Am I saying something wrong? You beat them 4-0. Yeah, 4-0. It was whooping. Aston Villa are in big problems. They are in big trouble. They need to fix up real quick. They need to fix up real quick. Ahmad will cost 90 million. JJ, absolutely, 100% to me. Ahmad should be a 90 million pound player if Savinho is going for 85. If he's going for 85, Ahmad should be a 90 million pound player. But let's hear what Fabrizio Romano says about the Savinho and Omar Mamouche to Tottenham Hotspur. Let's hear that. So, guys, if you're on the vertical content, you might not be hearing what we are listening to, but we are basically listening to what Fabrizio Romano said about Omar Mamouche and Savinho, and I will bring that to you guys also. In fact, instead of it this way, so everybody can listen.
To Tottenham. Here we go. Deal agreed for Egypt.
Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see if the volume is right. Okay. I don't think we can listen to it like that. I'll just let you guys know on the vertical one what situation. All right. 1 second before we go back
Striker to leave. Manchester. Omar Marmoush to Tottenham. Here we go. Deal agreed for the Egyptian striker to leave Manchester City and join Tottenham Hotspur. Verbal agreement between the parties, waiting for a medical to take place on Monday after Savinho. Also, Omar Marmoush from City to Tottenham, wanted by Roberto De Zerbi. The striker will join on a loan deal with an option to buy that could become mandatory under certain conditions at £50 million. Everything verbally agreed between the clubs, just waiting on the final details, and then a medical test, contract signing on Monday. Omar Marmoush to Tottenham Hotspur. It's a hero.
So those were the words of Fabrizio Romano, the Don himself. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Omar Mamouche and Savinho to Tottenham Hotspur is, of course, here we go. Omar Mamouche is basically going to be a Tottenham Hotspur player. What he reported was that Tottenham Hotspur have reached a verbal agreement with Manchester City to sign Omar Mamouche. Here we go. And he goes on to say verbal agreement done on initial loan with buy clause to become mandatory under certain conditions at £50 million. That is insane. Insane. Mamouche said yes to Tottenham Hotspur days ago. Travel and medical are going to be on Monday. So that is that for Omar Mamouche, and the deal is done from that situation. Let me read the comments and we'll definitely get back to the regular scheduled program. Ozzy says, it's looking like we are getting Balde. Thank you, I appreciate it. Do you think we will win the Champions League? I think Manchester United will get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League if everything goes well. JJ Hunter says Balde to Tottenham to Manchester United. Absolutely. Finally, we can bench Shaw. See, this is the thing about JJ Hunter. Sorry, about Balde. Let me read this for you to comment too. He says Ineos is the enemy. we aren't serious with Ineos. Don't want to spend money. I have to say that Ineos not spending money this summer is definitely a problematic situation, because I thought that Manchester United going from where we were to third place is a sign that we need to put money into the team for us to then challenge. That is the sign. That's what I thought was the sign, but I guess not. And then when we're talking about Balde to Manchester United, I understand that this is an exciting deal for a lot of people, but I am very scared of this situation. Balde's injuries is a problem. Balde's injuries is a problem. Can we all agree with this? Balde's injury, his injury record is a problem. You get me? It's a problem. Let's see what he has had injury wise, because a lot of people are saying Balde to Manchester United, and we are getting so excited about that situation. Balde, his injury is insane. Am I the only one to be like worried about this situation? Am I the only one worried about this situation? You understand? Because let's look at what his injury record is, just so we can absolutely have a breakdown. And of course, this is alleged. This is from transfermarket.com. So we understand this. You understand? Um, JJ says, nah, man, I'm worried too. Bro, Luke Shaw. The reason why we are problematic, or we find Luke Shaw problematic, is because we can trust Luke Shaw to stay healthy. But Balde has literally, oh my God, I'm looking at it here. It is scary. It is scary. Let's read down. Let's read Balde's injury for everybody to understand. In 2021, Balde had an ankle sprain and a shoulder injury, and the ankle sprain kept him out for 40 days. He didn't miss any games in that situation, so that's fine. 2020 and 2021, the shoulder injury, he missed 26 days and missed 3 games for Balde. And then in 21-22, he had a lumbago. I don't even know what a lumbago is, but he had an injury called a lumbago injury. If you guys know what that is, please drop it in the comments, because I mean, like, bro, he's out here getting injured for things that I don't even know about. And then 25 days he missed. He missed 7 games for Barcelona that day. 21-22, coronavirus hit him. 11 days, 2 games. I understand that. Everybody had a problem with that in that situation. I truly understand. Bud says, do you support United? United, United, United. That should tell you your answer. I do. Um, Say, who would you start, Shaw or Balde? For the starting of the season, I will start Luke Shaw, but then I will transfer to Balde, because I believe Balde would be a better player moving forward, especially attacking wise, than Luke Shaw. We don't have any attacking ability when Luke Shaw is playing football. Um, in 2022, still in that season, he got an ankle injury. So same ankle injury. We have seen ankle injury twice now. He missed in the ankle injury 18 games. 2022-2023, we got another ankle ligament tear. And in that ankle ligament tear, he missed 3 games for Barcelona and Spain. He missed 62 days. He was out injured. 62. 2023-2024, an abductor pain. So basically his abs or whatever. 8 days. He didn't miss any games. 23-24 is the code. That's not really an injury. 23-24, same season, he got a tendon rupture that he was out for 182 days. Can we understand this? 182 days he missed. He missed 22 games for Barcelona within that time. In 25, he had hamstring injury that kept him out for 29 days. He missed 7 games. 25-26, hamstring injury again for 29 days, 5 games. 25-26, muscle injury for 32 days, 5 games. In total, this man has missed so many games. So many games. There's no way Manchester United should be going for Balde right now, understanding the injury record that Balde has. JJ Hunter says, what are other options? I've been saying this. Other options is David Rom from RB Leipzig. David Rom from RB Leipzig. Or we look at the likes of Robinson or Malik Diouf of West Ham. Those are options on the left back position that can come into the team right now and just do better. Just give us a better option. Or we go out there and then find a player from Inter We can do so many things otherwise than getting a player that is injury prone. Full stop. So if you think Balde isn't good enough, if you think Balde isn't a good signing, that's what I'm trying to say. And the funny thing about this situation is my when I'm looking at the left back, right? And I just need to bear with me. When I'm looking at the left back, what am I looking at? I'm looking at somebody that has the engine to go up and down. So he has the ability to go forward and come back and do his defensive duties and also understand. And second, he needs to have pace. The pace for him to recover when we are in a rest defense or when we are having a problem. Bud says, what do you think about Adrian Trufe? I think he's also another option, a really good option by that. A really good option. In fact, let's check about Adrian before we would put him up so we can look at him a little bit later. But what I'm saying is, in a left back, what I'm looking for is someone that has the ability to go up and down, is physically fit, is very fast, understands the ability to basically be an attacking fullback and also be a defensive fullback, but also creates an opportunity and has a successful successful crosses and also chance created. That is what I want. Somebody that also has the ability for line breaking passes. Those are the things that I'm looking at. JJ Huncho says, Salinas is good too, and his release clause is 13.5 to 16.8 million pounds. I looked at Salinas yesterday in my life, and Salinas, being that he's a young player and he's a good player, no doubt, his successful crosses were too low for me. Last season, he had about 17.3 percent successful crosses, and that is not good enough. That is not good enough. We have a 6'5" striker, 6'5" striker in our team that do not get balls to his head. And the beautiful thing about David Rom is that David Rom has done it already. He has done it already when it comes to passing the ball to Benjamin Šeško. He's done it already. You get. I wouldn't even mind looking at David Alaba. You understand? I wouldn't even mind looking at David Alaba. To play the left back anyway. Yes, Rom is 28. He has a better crossing rate. You understand? And he's going to also be cheaper. He's going to also be cheaper. That's my whole point. Yeah, David Alaba is too old. I agree with that, and he's not a good player for us to come. But I rather get someone that would give Lewis Hall more time to learn his craft, right? In terms of crossing the ball, than bring Lewis Hall directly into the team and put that pressure on Lewis Hall. We break players like that. The pressure is too much on Manchester United for you to deal with that. Look at David Rom. I've been sounding this alarm. And bear in mind, if you want to see the stats, go to my YouTube. If you want to see the stats, go to my YouTube. I'm basically live on YouTube too, where I'm basically showing the screen and everything. Saeed Extra TV says, I think we should have started Dalo for his aerial capabilities. I think so, but in my mind, I think it should have been Lenny Yoro. We played Lenny Yoro in the preseason at right back, and we saw that he has the ability. Lenny Yoro also is 6'4". Has the ability to basically be dominant in the air. I think that would have solved that situation. But back to the left back. David Rom has 34.5%. 34.5% successful crossing rate. And not just that, right? Not just that. He has chances created last season. 96. 96 chances created. Let's look at what Trent Alexander did while he was at Liverpool, because we can use that, his creative ability, and basically gauge how good this guy could be. You understand how good he was? I think Liverpool won 24-25. Look at the crosses. Look at the successful crosses. Successful crosses for Trent Alexander-Arnold. The best at crossing the ball in the Premier League when he was there. He had 25.5. David Rom is better. Is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold in successful crosses. He's better. Chances created was 53. David Rom had 96. Come on now, what are we talking about here? We should be looking at David Rom as the next person to come to Manchester United. He should be the next person to be a Manchester United player. Okay, let's say 24-25 season was not the best for him. Let's look at the time that he won the league for Liverpool. Let's look at the time that he won the league for Liverpool, 1920, if I'm not mistaken, right? 1920. Successful crosses for Trent Alexander-Arnold, 1920, where Trent was in his powers, 21.2% successful crosses. 21.2% successful crosses. Chances created, 87. He's still not touching David Rom. Still not touching David Rom. So for the love of God, how we understand, and JJ says, but is Rom good defensively? Let's look at his defensive attributes. His defensive attribute for David Rom, right? Because, okay, this is Trent. Let's look at David Rom. David Rom's defensive attribute, 191 defensive contributions. Tackles, 48 tackles. Interceptions, 30. Block shots, 9. Fouls committed, it's really small, 29. So he's also good at being defensively sound. Come on now, this is a total package. We should be biting at this. We should be biting at this. Let's find a defender. Can we get a defender that is known for his defensive capabilities? And let's compare that with David Rom. Sahid says Haaland looks like a baby now. Yes, he does. Haaland has cut his hair, by the way, guys. If you did not know, Haaland cut his hair. So Rom and who else? Because I need Shaw gone next year. 100% agree. I think Rom comes in this year, and next year we get Lewis Hall. I'm not saying Lewis Hall is a bad player. I'm saying Lewis Hall should not be the replacement to Luke Shaw, because he's more Luke Shaw right now than Luke Shaw. Like that, you understand? He doesn't cross the ball successfully. Funny enough, he was also the person that gave the penalty away to, to Liverpool for them to score, to equalize. And I'm not judging him by one game. I'm just looking at the stats, and I'm looking at his ability, his offensive ability. He's not there yet. He could be there because he has the engine to go up and down, has the technical ability, but he's not there yet. And we need to give him the opportunity to get there. You see, how might sign a new contract? If he signs a new contract, he has to be smart to put a release clause. It's as simple as that. The new contracts don't scare me anymore. If he's smart, he puts a release clause in his new contract, £50 million. Because yes, he can get what they call it. Newcastle can get around £70 million right now. But because they want him to stay, said, okay, I will stay, but make sure you put a release clause that allows me out of my contract if Man United comes next season. It's as simple as that. Sahid says they are beautiful. Wan-Bissaka Wan-Bissaka looks pretty good. Does Balde cross? Barcelona fans hate him for some reason. Balde's crossing ability is not as good as David Rom. Balde's crossing ability, based on what we have seen so far, is 21.4%. Pretty good, average at best, but not Balde-esque, not David Rom-esque, sorry. Not David Rom-esque, you get me? Not David Rom-esque. So that's the problem. And yes, he has so many problems, but my biggest issue with Balde is his injury record. That's my biggest issue. Bod says, do you think United should make Licha a new contract next season? I think so. I think Man United should sign Licha to a new contract, new 4-year contract. How old is Licha? How old is Licha? I think people, what's his name? Martinez. Lisandro Martinez. People really do not understand the thing that Lisandro brings to Manchester United. It's more than him playing football. Honestly. Lisandro Martinez is more than him just being the centre back for Manchester United. And bear in mind, he is a talented footballer. When you look at everything he does for Manchester United, spot on. Spot on. Spot on. He's a leader in the dressing room. That's the most key part for me. He's a leader in the dressing room. So Lisandro Martinez should be given an extra contract. But of course, the injury doesn't help his case. The injury doesn't help his case, unfortunately. All right, let's get back to the transfer window. Let's get back to the transfer and talk about it. Atletico Madrid president Cerezo on Julian Alvarez and Barcelona. He says, what I consider is that Barcelona wasn't up to the circumstances and didn't do what is normally done in this kind of situation, right? He says, after a fairly complicated summer marked in insistent questions about Julian Alvarez, the fact is he's an Atletico de Madrid player. He's always been an Atletico Madrid player. We never had an intention of selling him. He's not going to go. He is not leaving. He can pout all he wants. Today I saw a video of him. Let me even see if I can show you guys here. He can pout all he wants. He signed a contract that takes him to flipping what's his name? Julian Alvarez. He signed a contract. His contract is his contract ends in 2030. He has 4 years on his contract. He has 4 years on his contract. If Atletico Madrid does not want to sell, they are not going to sell. He can do nothing about it. Nothing. He said they were willing to sell him to Arsenal, but he said no, he only wants Barcelona. And that's the problem. That is where the problem lies. They do not want to sell him to Barcelona. If he is going to Barcelona, then you have to bring the bank, bring the money. And Barcelona, stop crying. Because Barcelona is there saying, "Oh, just let him go, let him go." Come on now. Come on. Let's get it right now. Let's get it right. Just look at this. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Look at that. This is the first game of the season. Atletico Madrid drew with Villarreal, I believe. And the fans are getting appreciation by the team. But look at the next field. He is walking away. He is walking away. I do not care how much you want to go to Barcelona. If you are not a Barcelona player, I do not care. And this is one thing Barcelona fans need to understand. The way you get him is the way he's going to leave. The way you get him is the way he's going to live. Look at this guy. He's just pouting. Bro, Just buckle down and play your football. No need to pout. No need. Fabrizio Romano says Arsenal made contact with Atletico Madrid to discuss Julian Alvarez deal conditions. Direct meeting took place in London with Atletico Madrid director Matteo Alemany. Uh, Alemany. Price currently too high. Plus, Julian never opened doors to England so far, as he wanted to join Barcelona, but um, Arsenal tried. I understand that. It is cool. You can try all you want. This man signed a contract 2 years ago. He signed a contract 2 years ago, and his contract ends in 2030. Saeed says Alvarez moving like a snake. I'm not even going to say that, Saeed. I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say he should be doing better. Just buckle down, play your football. Buckle down, play your football. It feels so sad for me to see a talented player like this not happy to play football. And I understand from the player's point of view, he wants his dream to happen. He wants his dream to happen. His dream is going to play for Barcelona. But when that dream is not here, when that dream is not available right now, you buckle down and you play and you be the best player that you can be for the team that you are in. And so Barcelona comes in and goes up and increases the price of money. And guess what? You also get more credit when you leave. Because when you leave with your head held high. You leave with not being a a a a, what do you call it? A bad figure in Atletico Madrid history. Because his dream at one point was also to play for Atletico Madrid. Because his idol Aguero played for Atletico Madrid, but also played for Man City and also played for Barcelona, and so he wants to complete the dream. But calma, brother, calma. Kings, what's up, Kings? KK says the only way Alvarez joins Barcelona is if he does what Isak does. He can do what Isak does. He can do what Isak does. I'm telling you. See, this is one thing that people do not understand. People do not understand this. What Isak did, right? What Isak did, they can take Isak to court for breach of contract, and they will not need to pay him his salary. That's it. They just did not want, they did not want to have the hassle every single day, every single time, every single team. And of course, Julian Alvarez can do the same thing. But the situation is, it just doesn't work that way. Julian Alvarez apparently might be making around 600,000, if I'm not mistaken. I doubt it. But come on, bruv. It doesn't make any sense to move like this. And he caused this problem. If both of them just decided to shut up during the World Cup, not putting it out there. King says, everywhere don't clear for your IRB. Brother, don't worry. Comeback season. We're going for the title. If he had just during the World Cup not said anything about going to play for Barcelona, it wouldn't have gotten to this situation. It would be a situation where both teams just communicate and talk whatever they need to talk about and get it done. That would have been a better solution. That right there would have been a better solution. So whoever advised Julian Alvarez did a disservice to Julian Alvarez. They did a disservice to Julian Alvarez. Sahid says Atletico team is good with Lee and Romero. He should win them a Champions League and then leave. That team is a good team. The way they have structured Atletico's team is not going to be the defensive team that we all expect him to be. What's up, Alex Huang? Says, how's it going, bro? Man, it's going good, man. I appreciate you for coming in. It's the team is a good team. Lee Kangin, absolutely born of a player. Romero, Buena, just a World Cup winner. He can literally be the reason Atletico Madrid goes back and wins the La Liga, and he can be the reason they go on to win the Champions League. He can be that. He can have a statue in that building at the Wando Metropolitano. All this. I don't know who advises these players. I really don't know. Because he baffles me every single time. He baffles me every single time. Okay, let's get back to the transfer window. Marco Alcaraz, who is pretty good at Spanish football, says Man United have made contact with Barcelona for Alejandro Balde, the 22-year-old among left back options. Barcelona open to sell. Man United keen to understand the fee. Plus, have explored talks with Jorge Mendes about personal terms not considered to be an issue. Man United to know in coming days if fee/deal is plausible. That's good news. That right there is pretty good news for me. I still believe that Alejandro Balde is not the right man. I believe that. I think Balde is too injury prone. Too injury prone, in my opinion. Marco Alcaraz also said, United understand that Newcastle have put a 70 million price tag on Lewis Hall. The 21-year-old is open to leaving Newcastle this summer and has already informed the club. United United very interested. Informal talks held with the players' camp. No club-to-club talks yet, but Man United ready to move. This was about 21 days ago that he reported that. But then Alcaraz 7 days ago reported, understand that there is still tension inside Man United's boardroom, with senior figures in conflict over transfer strategy and direction. The decision makers and the recruitment department are not aligned. Not, that's the key word in that situation. And plus, there is growing tension as certain execs are facing pressure from peers and ownership. Bro, there should be pressure. Everything should be fire in that building. Everything should be fire. 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 Everything should be fire because of the way we played last game. Everything should be fire right now. They should be going in there and finding out how they will succeed. Alex Wang says, play chase away. A perfectly healthy Edison. Um, and signed a 21-year-old 20-year-old sideline injured Tillemans. I think Tillemans is a better player than Edison. And I think getting Baleba replaces what Edison would have brought to Manchester United anyway. And so I think that might be a good situation. All opposition has to do is one have a good studs to kick up his calves and he will be out for the whole season, man. I hope not. I really hope not. Saeed says, in your civil war, bro. That's the thing. There's a civil war brewing in the goddamn in your executives. Alex Wang says, bro, we can't keep signing players out of the pensioners line, man. Bro, I understand that, but I don't think Tillemans is in the pensioners, and he's playing in a position where if he give him the ball on his feet or in his feet, he can be still effective. And the money that we paid for him too was also not that bad. Look at Tillemans' injury record with injuries keep popping up. I did see that, and that was scary to me based on what we saw lately. And it's as he's getting older, his injuries started getting more frequent. And so I'm a little bit worried about. So let's keep an eye on that situation. Um, KK says Flick said he doesn't want to sell Balde, but he told him to stay home for tonight's game to clear. What Flick said, and we have basically reported it, was that Balde had a conversation and he told Balde to think about it, and Balde went home and thought about it and called his agent and says, "Look, if they are telling me to think about it, they are somewhat telling me to leave Barcelona." So in my mind, to me, it's just clear that he's going to leave. His head is because it wasn't 109% now. I just think Barcelona wants him to leave. Is Man United going to get a new midfielder since Hull City walked their walked them? Come on, heads, calm down, bruv. We have gotten Baleba. That's all we are getting, and that's all we are getting in the midfield this season. I think for the right price tag for Balde, it's an 80% we sell him. Um, he is basically our third option now. Yeah, yeah, he's going to leave. He's going to leave. Alex Wang says, bro, they just don't want to spend money on the team. They just want to keep adding to our debt. That's the biggest problem that Manchester United has had. That's the biggest problem that Manchester United have. The fact that we can't spend the way we need to spend. The way Tottenham Hotspur is spending right now is the way Manchester United can be spending every single day of their goddamn lives, because we are the biggest team in the world. But like we chased away perfectly healthy Anderson, and he was confused, reportedly confused on why they didn't sign him. Well, based on the reports that we heard, was that he had some knee problems that on the long term would have been a problem for us. And I'm not going to argue that with the the reports. Solly says, and I think Solly is pretty good at what he does. Solly says, understand that Carlos Baleba completed his medical test today at Carrington. He's set to sign his Man United contract and complete his media duties tomorrow. Yeah, we have definitely seen. I think we even spotted. There was a picture that spotted Carlos Baleba coming out of Carrington. So that's that. Um, Solly says, understand that Ahmad could be out for up to 6 weeks following initial test scans after picking up an injury in training. Oh my God. Oh my God. Awaiting for more test results. Oh my God. 6 weeks. That's insane. That is insane. As United fans, we won't let people with big influences spread hate on the name, on your name before you kick the ball. Once you wear the iconic shirt, you're one of us, no matter what you think of the transfer itself. Welcome to Manchester United, Carlos Baleba. Make history. Absolutely. Absolutely. Solly says, Man United have held discussions with the player side of Jorge Salinas. Data team rate him highly and he is seen as a high potential player. David Rom also on the list and linked. United assessing all left back options even after Carlos Baleba's deal advances. So that was a little bit of a time ago. But now just hearing that Ahmad might be out for 6 weeks, even though it's just 6 weeks, and we are coming into a difficult point in terms of the what do you call it, um, the international break. It's just difficult to see that he's going to be out in that sense. Man United twice came from behind to win under Michael Carrick last season, away to Arsenal, home to Palace, but not from a two-goal deficit. Big halftime here. Okay, he's just talking about that. It's a blunt attack for sure. We definitely did not play well in that game. We definitely did not play well in that game. Anyway, guys, and this is from YouTube for sure. Um, yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button, and we will see you guys in the next one, most definitely. So hit that like button. We'll be here tomorrow morning talking about the transfer window too. We'll be breaking down what we saw against Hull, and we'll definitely do all those things. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the follow button, so you do not you don't miss out on anything. So he says Tillerman looked overweight. I don't even think that. I think he just looked not sharp. That's what I would say. Like I don't know how his weight is, because Wayne Rooney, majority of his career, looked overweight to me. But we know what Wayne Rooney was. So some people come stocky. Some people come um, a little bit built like a compactor. but sometimes they are still mint. So he says, need Lacey at right wing. Umbuemo is dusty. He's a number 9. Well, he played the whole preseason at number 9. That's the mistake that Carrick made. That's one of the mistakes that Carrick made. This man has been playing number 9 the whole preseason. And the first game of the season, you take him back to that right wing position. That's the biggest mistake that we have seen so far. We should have played Mbeumo at that number 9 position. And as playing Mbeumo at the number 9 position, we then go into the forward and then look at Mateus Cunha at that left winger position. Sorry, not left back. That's what we should have done. It should have been Cunha, Mbeumo, and Ahmad. But I know Ahmad couldn't play, so it would have been Shea Lacey. That's what it should have been. That right there should have been. Just before we go on, we have got basically Dave Onsteiner says Manchester City reached an agreement with Lille to sign Abu Buardi. Deal for the 18-year-old from Lille midfielder is worth 95 million euros plus 5 million euros bonuses on a 5 plus 1 year contract. Manchester City are landing the Moroccan international, key target following Rodri's departure. That's good. They have gotten a generational player. A generational player. In my mind, they have gotten a generational player in that guy. It's insane. It's insane how we did not go for him. Insane. Insane. Let's never forget Chelsea paid 50 for Garnacho and only offered 40 for Fermin Lopez. That's a tough one. I don't know how we were able to get away with that, but whew. Garnacho did play. He played 5 minutes around there for Aston Villa. Didn't really do much. Didn't really do much. You get me? Didn't really do much. It's such a difficult thing to talk about, man. Balde is not my option. Not my option at all. At all. But on YouTube, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button also. Thank you for being with us. And if you want to continue with the lives, make sure you guys turn over to us here and we can always talk about it. Oh, we got some comments coming, so we're gonna stay longer. Bro, we can't keep letting them slide and not improving the team, bro. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. We have that problem, and that's the biggest problem that we have. They do not invest in the team the way which they should. They do not invest in the team the way they should. Bro, these signings aren't helping the team at all. They're just plastering over the cracks, and over time, those plasters that they applied are going to deteriorate in the foundation and is going to crumble. Oh my God, Wang, I could kiss you on your forehead for that one. That was absolutely fire. He says, what other platforms are you on? I'm on Instagram, Pillar Sports. I'm on TikTok, Pillar Sports. I'm on Twitter, Pillar Sports. Everywhere you can find, in fact, even Snapchat, we are there too. So we are there everywhere. So you want to follow us everywhere, and we do different types of content. We do vertical content majority of the time on TikTok. We do full content like this on lives on YouTube, as we do here. So guys, follow us on all platforms. And of course, we also do some personal ones where I go play football. Like, I'm a bigger guy now, but back in the day, maybe like 3-4 years before COVID happened, I was playing football 100% of the time. So sometimes I show content of me getting back in shape. I'm playing football in that sense because I want to use football to kind of get back to it. Um, he says we need to cut away the cancer before it spreads. Bro, we've been cutting away the cancer, and that was the beautiful part about Amorim. That was the beautiful part about Ruben Amorim. He cut away so much of that cancer that Man United fans did not realize that this man was one of the best foundation factors that we saw Michael Carrick succeed. That was one of the best factors that we saw Michael Carrick succeed. We did. It's a disappointing thing, but nobody gives him that credit. No one gives him that credit, unfortunately. Guys, make sure we like this photo. Make sure we like the video, guys. Let's make sure we like the video. We got some people in the chat right now, so let's make sure we like the video. hit that like button so far. Let's see how many likes we have so far. So hit that like button so we can absolutely grow and we can do this more often. And of course, now we do not have the opportunity for us to do it as often, but we are going to get better and we are going to be giving you guys the quality and content in that sense, because for us here, it's quality more than quantity for the most part. So we give you guys the best quantity that we can give you guys for sure.
Before I became a full-time YouTuber, I was trusted by
Um,
some of the biggest brands in the world to edit their videos. And even
let's go. What else? What else do we need to talk about before we go on? It says, look how we repackaged the re-signing of Rashford and said it was like a new signing, bro. That's one of the most annoying parts. That right there is one of the most annoying parts. Marcus Rashford should not be putting on a shirt for Manchester United ever again, based on the way he left, ever again. If it was Sir Alex in that chair, he would never be asked back to play for Manchester United. You said we need to get rid of Shower and we need to get rid of Maguire. I think it means Shaw and Maguire. I think so. I think so. You see, they basically threw all the managers under the bus. Well, look, the fact that this back four that we played 4 years ago, when we were really bad and we were struggling to 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 get back to where we need to be, struggling to get back to the Champions League, is still the back four that is playing for Manchester United right now. That right there is a problem. That right there is a problem. Absolutely. It says, are you across the pond in the UK? I'm not in the UK right now. No, I'm not in the UK right now. But content comes everywhere. Content comes every time. It doesn't matter where I am. Content is going to keep on flowing. And the beautiful part about it is that we are looking to get better. We are looking to get better. We are looking for an editor that will give us the best kind of edits that we can get. We're looking for a researcher so we don't have to be researching. We're looking for a producer, even though we are not the biggest of platforms right now, but we are so focused on giving you guys the quality that we are going to be putting. I'm literally putting money out of my pocket, and that's the best part of it. I'm putting every single dime that I get into this content to make sure that you guys get something that I can absolutely be proud of, no matter what the situation is. No matter what the situation is, that's my focus. That's my goal, and that is definitely my hope for us. That's my hope for us for sure. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's keep on asking questions. Let's keep on asking questions because we're about to schedule another live video for tomorrow morning. Because I know a lot of things are going to be happening tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys are hitting that like video, that like button, and also hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything that we do here at Pillar Sports. Okay. Um, Alex says, who do you think is going to win PFA Player of the Year? Uh, for last year, it's Bruno Fernandes. Nobody was better than Bruno last year. Nobody was better than Bruno Fernandes last year. He was the best player, for sure. Oh, wow. Man, speaking for a minute, it's a rough, it's a rough situation. But I'm not taking anything for granted. Not at all. I love doing what I'm doing. All right, guys. Thank you very much for it, for coming on. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to stop the video or the live right now, but make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are locked in so you do not miss out on anytime we go live on the transfer window. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been real. I'm your host, Manny. I love you all. Safe.